dot on time. Welcome to all the members of Hyderabad Management Association, our esteemed speaker, Mr. Pulkit Mittal, and the non-HMA members. I will be muting you all at this stage and will unmute anybody who is asked to unmute may kindly unmute and speak in later. But right now I'm unmuting all.
ఇతను నాకు తెలిసిన నీకు ఇతను విజయ వేదాంతం అని.
Okay. So good evening once again, and before we get into the actual program, let me give you a little brief about Hyderabad Management Association. All the members who are here, they are aware that Hyderabad Management Association is the only platform for the management in the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, catering to the needs of management professional, academicians, students, and anybody else who are having an interest in the area of management. This year, HMA has started a new initiative and a new committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Vijay Vedantam has been created, which is on the youth initiatives. And this is the first program which we are doing under this committee. And the objective of this youth committee is to cater to the needs of the management professionals, working executives, startups, entrepreneurs, and students who are below the age of 40. So I will request that this message may kindly be propagated among your circles so that people can benefit going forward from here. One more area of interest for you is that HMA has revamped its newsletter, and the new newsletter under the new name, the Management Review, which going forward is going to talk more on the success stories of various management professionals, entrepreneurs, and so on. So it will be an area which you can look forward on a monthly basis. The newsletter henceforth will be coming out within the first 3-4 days of every month, and look forward to it. Kindly update your email IDs and telephone numbers with the HMA Secretariat so that you can get the communication on a regular basis. Now, today's topic, Race to Survivor, Agri-Tech to Rescue, and the role of Indian youth in agribusiness. I think that's one of the most apt topic to be discussed under the management arena. And I thank Mr. Vijay Vedantam to take this initiative and bringing our esteemed speaker of the day, Mr. Pulkit Mittal. I personally believe that the Indian GDP is going to grow in the area of agriculture. And agriculture, if combined with the technological innovations, will be the future for many youth or even elderly people who are into their working streams. I think I'm personally attracted to that aspect of it. And I've been reading a lot in terms of how artificial intelligence is getting combined in terms of using the modern farming technologies. And I feel that youth is going to get attracted. I personally believe that farming will become intellectually stimulating and economically rewarding if the technology is combined with that. I am very eager to listen to Mr. Pulkit Mittal. What is he going to talk in next 30 minutes from now? And I will give the dais to Mr. Vijay Vedantam to introduce the speaker of the day to the audience. Over to Vijay Vedantam. Kindly unmute yourself, Vijay.
Good evening, friends. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
President of HMA, Mr. Sanjay Kapoor, Speaker of the Day, Mr. Pulkit Mittal, respected seniors and dear friends. Today is a milestone for HMA. Agriculture sector is the silver lining in the dark clouds. While corporate India is in a spot of bother, agriculture and allied industries are shown bright. It is my privilege to read out the profile of the Speaker of the Day, Mr. Pulkit Mittal, a young leader passionate about modernizing agriculture and digital transformation. He is currently Assistant Vice President at Seedworks International Private Limited. Mr. Pulkit Mittal has over 6 years of work experience in digital transformation business analytics, and project management. He is associated with Seedworks International since March 2018 and undertook senior leadership role in digital transformation strategy. This digital transformation encompasses business transformation, IT transformation, and culture transformation. Before Seedworks, he was associated with one of the largest Indian conglomerates, ITC Limited, in the agri-business division. He is an experienced modern-age digital leader with a demonstrated history of working in the agri-businesses. Over the years, he has turned into a versatile professional with hands-on and diverse experience of business aspects. Focusing energy on emerging technologies, he envisions and structures business value-driven digital transformation strategy and executes leading technologies. The value he brings to the table is the ability to bridge the right logic, attention to detail, rigor in execution, and hard negotiation skills. Develop the capability to liaison with cross-functional teams in executing initiatives and projects that help steer the organization towards its goals. He has expertise in building motivated teams for success. An entrepreneur by heart, he enjoys working in a challenging and dynamic environment, which brings out the best of him. He believes that sharing and celebrating team success is a prerequisite of repeating it. He won the coveted Hyderabad Management Association's Young Manager of the Year Award, presented by Sri M. Venkaiah Naidu Garu, Vice President of India, at the 46th HMA's annual awards function held at Hyderabad in June 2019. The award was conferred for his exceptional managerial and leadership traits among young managers. As per HMA, what set the recipient apart from other candidates was his ability to transform the company in the new digital age with providing emerging high-tech digital strategies and direction to all the stakeholders. He has also been awarded the Big CIO Innovators Award by Trustcon Global at the prestigious CIO Gathering 8th edition Big CIO Show in May 2019 at Mumbai. He is a certified Lean Six Sigma Black Belt practitioner by BMG International. Mr. Pulkit holds a Bachelor of Technology in Electrical Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Kanpur. He is a recipient of Certificate of Merit for Academic Excellence at IIT Kanpur. He was awarded the KVPY Fellowship by the Department of Science and Technology. He is an NTSC scholar and top 1% in National Physics Olympiad and Astronomy Olympiad. At IIT Kanpur, he has worked extensively in the area of evolutionary algorithms and published 2 international conference papers and 1 journal paper. Something interesting, he is an avid reader, exploratory cook, and loves to swim. One thing I would like to submit is that whoever has interacted with him, his peers regarding as a visionary, his ability to learn and attention to detail has made him one of the most well-informed leaders in Indian agriculture. In fact, he is the youngest leader in the senior leadership team at Seedworks. He is passionate about modernizing agriculture and digital transformation and successfully undertaken a lot of technology innovations in the field of IoT, precision farming, drones, etc., to meet the aspirational goals like doubling farmer income. Over to you, Mr. Pulkit Mittal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, HMA President and Vijay sir, for introduction. And it's always good to be associated with HMA, and it's my pleasure to present the first webinar of the Youth Leadership Committee. So I'll not waste any further time and I'll directly project my slide. So one of you can confirm if you can see my slides.
Yes, confirm.
Thank you. So welcome everyone, respected members of the HMA, my wonderful colleagues at Seedworks, professionals in AP and Telangana and all over India, and my dear students. So it's an honor to present the first webinar of the YLC, which is Youth Leaders Committee of the HMA. And the topic which was decided was very, very apt for the time in which we are living, which is Race to Survival, Agri-Tech to Rescue, role of modern youth in modern agribusiness. So as I understand, the diverse group of participants who have joined this webinar, some of them might not be associated with the agriculture or any agribusiness directly. So the way we will take this next 1 hour session would be in these 4 parts. We will talk right from basic of what is agriculture and what is agribusinesses. I'll throw some light on agri-tech world as we see today. Most importantly, the role of youth in Indian agri-tech. And then I'll also share some of the story of Seedworks, and at Seedworks, what is our mission and how our mission is guiding us to help farmer using the technology. So let us start with agriculture and agribusiness. When we see the word agriculture, a lot of things come to our mind. Some of us think about green land. Some of us think about rural areas. Some of us think about farmer, right? And I think these are some of the words which would have come in all of your mind. But if you see the scientific definition of agriculture, it is a science which involves cultivation of soil to grow crops, or rearing of animals to get food or wool or milk or any other product. But the way I see it, very very simply, is it's a practice which entrepreneur is undertaking, which is a very specialized skill which he has learned over generations from his ancestors, and that is a activity which agriculture is. And that entrepreneur is nothing but the Indian farmer who has been doing farming since generation. He's illiterate to metric education, and some of them today are highly educated. Till now we have seen lesser exposure to technology, but in the last 4-5 years the exposure to technology has also significantly improved. They are pan India. They range from young farmers to old farmers of 65-70 years of age. uh, Most of the farmers in India are small and marginal farmers with a income of less than 50,000 per acre per year. And the goal, the ambition of these farming community is a consistent source of income, a reputation in the society, and enhanced value of life. But they face a lot of challenges while doing their cultivation. Their income is not sustainable. There are many intermediary involved while they market their crops. There is no direct guidance, though there is a lot of efforts from government sector, from private sector, but still the farmer feels that there is limited guidance on farming. There are objections on fair pricing of quality. They feel that government is inefficient, and then they have biggest fears whether their livelihood is what is the future of their livelihood. Are they safe? Do they should continue doing farming? What their next generation should do? And they are uncertain about the survival of next generation which are involved in farming. And shortage of labor and other critical issues are coming up, and as we move ahead we'll see some of them in detail. So this is one persona of how what an Indian farmer is I've tried to portray in a brief. And as you know, Indian agriculture is a subsistence agriculture with a huge pressure of 1.38 billion Indian population. In India, a lot of variety of crops are grown. Predominance is of food crops. Mechanization in farming is increasing, and as a secondary source of income, animal husbandry is popular in India. And as we know that there is huge dependency on monsoon in India, and then there are various seasons in which crops are grown. The major drivers for the growth drivers in Indian agriculture is primarily demand side, which is mostly population growth and income growth, favorable export scenarios. On the supply side, modernization and improvement in seed, improvement in irrigation facilities and other facilities in the agriculture, and of course the policy support. The Indian government, which is doing very good work in providing boost to the Indian agriculture in terms of schemes, infrastructure, national missions, and other MSP supports. So major concern what we see today is, I'm sorry. Okay, so
May I request people to be on mute?
yeah. So the major concern which we see today is the rising population, which would have a rising food demand. As of 2019, we had around 7.7 billion people on Earth, and as we move towards 2030, we would see an increase of over 8.5 billion people on the Earth, and by 2015, it is estimated that 9.7 billion population, which will have, out of which 67% will be the urbanization, and which shows that as the urbanization is increasing, the number of people involved in farming, the arable land, and the food requirement will drastically increase. And that is where over decades, this specialized sector which has evolved, which is agribusiness sector, today forms a very big global industry of over $5 trillion, which has a massive economic, social, and environmental footprint. By 2050, as we see, the population will grow over 9 billion. The demand for calorific will increase more than 70%, and the crop demand will actually more than double, which means that the yield of the crops has to double, more than double in the future. Agribusinesses today represent 10% of the global consumer spending, employs 40% of the population, and result into 30% of the greenhouse emission. Briefly, we know that today agribusinesses are mostly involved in input side, which is seed, chemicals, food, fodder, feeds, and other machinery. Agriculture production, value added, which involves fruits and vegetable, food processing, and allied support in terms of banking, insurance, transport, and other areas. And if you see from a business point of view, food and agribusiness companies has demonstrated a sustained growth and positive returns to the shareholders over a long term. If you look at over a very long term as well, the investment in agribusiness has crossed almost 100 billion in the last decade itself. If you see, I don't have the numbers for other industry, but I've tried to put a quick number for seed industry, how it has grown in last few years. You can see most of the companies have grown, remaining a few, and you would see the numbers, 34% at Seedworks and other companies. The growth has been good, and it shows that agribusiness is really something which is going to be there. And as Vijay sir said, it is a silver lining in the COVID scenario. So let us come to agri-tech world. So before we move ahead, I have a small 1-minute clip for you, which will show you the need of agri-tech.
India's agriculture industry contributes between 17 and 18% of the country's GDP, but it employs more than 50% of the country's population. And this is because most Indian farmers don't own a lot of land. They can't afford expensive modern farming equipment, fertilizers, seeds, or warehouse space. And this makes it very difficult for Indian farmers to get out of the poverty that a lot of them are stuck in. What's more, they are extremely vulnerable at pretty much every stage of farming, from sowing their crops to harvesting and storing them, and for non-subsistence farmers, actually selling these crops to buyers. If at any stage of this process they face issues, it could result in the farmer taking on serious debt or their family going without food and slowly starving. Luckily, in recent years, Indian entrepreneurs have started to identify and come up with solutions to some of the problems that historically have plagued this industry. By leveraging the power of technology, these entrepreneurs have been able to make farming in India more sustainable and profitable. Today, India has more than 450 agri-tech startups, and this number is increasing by 25% year on year.
Yeah.
India's
So you have seen the need of Indian agriculture and the role AgTech has played, and we'll talk about it in detail. But how agriculture has evolved over years. So today, we talk about agriculture 4.0, but it has evolved over time, right from ancient times to early 20th centuries, around 1920s. Agriculture was very labor intensive. It used to have farmers used to have small land holdings. It was very localized in communities, and yields were very low. And then green revolution came in 1950s to 1916, where there was adoption of various research interventions, which has improved yields, but which was input intensive. In agriculture 3.0, there was further infusion of techniques, smart irrigations, in which the field variations was controlled, cost of cultivation was brought down, and higher profitability was seen by farmer. But today, where we are, agriculture 4.0, high-tech improvements in biotech, rapid breeding programs are providing high yield varieties. Also, a lot of agtech and digital aspects have started to come in agriculture, which is improving the farmers' profitability and reducing the cost of cultivation. As we move ahead, I see there will be agriculture 5.0, which will be probably after 2025, 2030. But there'll be a time when agriculture will become a very, very evolved business, and there'll be robots, there'll be application of AI, there'll be application of IoT, automated decision making, so on and so forth will happen. And I think those times are yet to come. And also, UN has taken 17 sustainable development goals, and I believe that agriculture and agri-tech has a very, very important part to play in almost every sustainable development goal, right from no poverty to zero hunger to good health and well-being, and any of the SDG you can pick up. I think agriculture and agtech has a big role to play, and there are requirements of various areas the development has to happen. I've listed on a few of them, I think technology will play a very big role in achieving those. But why it is happening? Why, I believe that agriculture is going to be a very, very high-tech industry in the future. Primarily because of three reasons. One is the changing consumer preferences. Today, consumers are aware of their health. They want customized product. They want product on demand. There are emerging technologies, as Mr. Sanjay said. AI is coming in. There is specialized sensors to capture data. Today, I see a farm is actually a factory of a lot of data which is generated, and emerging technology can be utilized to rightly real-time analyze those data, give actionable advisory to farmer, and then definitely if farmer is able to follow that, he would have severe higher gains out of the farm. And also there are changing configurations today. Big data is there to optimize, to analyze and optimize yields. There is a lot of integration happening horizontally across the ecosystem. And I think surely this will pave way for doubling farmers' income or to achieve the national goal which the government has taken. Though we have seen over years, the breeding programs has provided a good amount of yield. What we see today is that the genetic gains has limitations, but I think still with help of technology, with improvement in package of practices, with better hybrid seeds, I think there is still improvement potential of 30% on key crops. And today the farmer is already facing a lot of challenges. This year recently we are seeing there is a flood situation which has arrived in various states in India. And tomorrow's farmers, I'm sure he has to face even more difficulties while he can carry out it cultivation. So I'm sure the farmer will also be much more open to these innovative solutions and will want to be a part of this ecosystem. As we can also see that unfortunately or fortunately, COVID has come and it has actually provided a tailwind to the agri-tech sector. We have seen governments like Haryana is collaborating with Israel for agtech infusion in their horticulture. We have seen private players like Microsoft also pushing for agtech startups. Very big VC funds like Sequoia Capital, Excel Partners, Tiger Global, who have not taken interest in the past few years, have started to invest in the agri-tech sector as well. And also the center is taking various new schemes like setting up of agri-infra fund of 1 lakh crore, from which the financial support will also be provided to the agtech players. I think there are good days to come ahead for the farmer and for the agtech sector. We have also seen a lot of corporates have also taken various initiatives, ITC being one of them, who has launched eChopal long before in 2000. But as we speak, I think a lot of work is happening in eChopal 4.0 to digitize the entire eChopal which was there. And I'm sure the effort will bring much more value addition to the farming community. We have seen Mahindra, which had a program called Tringo, was a farm equipment rental service. TAFE also had a similar program through their J Farm services in the rental of tractors and farm equipments. Also, Mahindra had My Agri Guru, a solution, digital platform for an integrated network of agri community. And similarly, there are a lot of companies who have taken a lot of initiative in this sector. We also, in the recent past, we have seen a lot of investments and startups coming into picture. Mostly the area of investments have been in market linkages, digitization of agriculture, services to provide better access to inputs, farming as a service, and other financing operations. And some of the major ones being Omnivore, Ankur Capital, Rabobank. Some of these VCs have funded, and some of these startups, which I'm sure some of you would have known, would have also heard about Agrostar, Samunati, Ninja Card, Agnext. I mean, there are companies who are coming in this space. And you can also see the extent of funding these companies are receiving. We are seeing seed capital infusion of a few million to Series A, Series C infusion of 30 to 40 million dollars by various private equities and venture capitals in the agri sector. So let us come to role of youth in agri-tech. We have talked about agriculture, we have talked about agri-businesses who have been contributing here in agtech. So why youth is very important today? As per Indian census 2011, youth, which is 15 years to 24 years, actually consisted 19.1% of the population, which was 23%. But today, I think the next census will happen in 2021. But there are numbers which says that almost 34% of the population will be youth by 2020. And I think if you see the distribution of age in 2001, we had 0 to 9 years of people. And then we had kind of a pyramid which was reducing as we go up. But in 2011, the number of people in 10 to 19 was higher than people at the bottom of the pyramid. And as we move on, I think in 2021 and as we are in 2020, large part of this population has already moved into 20 to 29 age, and I think which supports that a lot of population, a huge percentage of population is under youth. And we have also seen over the years, over the decades, the education has also improved both for male and female, and the gap of literacy is very less. Also, we have seen earlier the it was mostly male who was engaged in agriculture. Even the educational institutes, which was predominantly participated by the male. But today we see in agri institutes, in agri MBA institutes, there is equal participation, equal gender diversity in the education as well. So that's why I believe that investing and contribution by youth is the best way to leverage the nation's competitive advantage. So before seeing the role of youth, let me talk about what a typical crop cycle for a farmer looks like. Today, farmer is actually a CEO. As I told, he's an entrepreneur. He takes every decision in taking out his cultivation, right from crop selection to finance planning, then seed selections, other input selections, labor management, managing the weather risks, insurance. Then after harvesting, the quality grading of the output, uh, seeing the trade-off between yield and mandi prices. Then after after selling his output, getting the money, and then closing the credit, and then again the cycle repeats. And I think you can see that in this entire chain, in the entire crop cycle, you can see he has played various roles. He has played a role of CFO by taking the finance decision. He has taken the role of a supply chain manager, of selecting right inputs, storing them. He has taken in the decision of CHRO by hiring laborers. He has taken decisions like a sales and marketing, to where to sell it, how to sell it, right? So I think today the CEO of the farm, which is farmer, is undergoing a lot of, taking all these roles. And what challenges he faces is he faces challenges of poor crop planning, lack of information, or I would say lack of targeted information which he requires, broken marketed linkages, credit financing, fragmented lands, and access to quality inputs and labor availability, as I mentioned, is becoming a big issue. And internally at Seedworks, we have done some of these research, and what I've been able to put here is some of the innate needs of farmer into 5 categories. Today, the farmer is eager for knowledge. He wants to know about various in detail information about what inputs he's using. He was in one of our surveys, he said he's interested to know about the molecular composition of the chemical. He wants to understand how these chemicals are acting on my farm, on the growth of plants. He wants accurate weather information. He's interested into science-backed guidelines or farming practices. He is interested to know about soil composition. He wants to know mandi rates, and also wants to know the predicted rates so that he can take right decisions. He wants to know government schemes. He wants supports and advice. He wants immediate support. He wants support to identify right seed, pests and diseases, and also wants advice on how to cure them. He wants to communicate. Today, the channel of communication for the farming community is mostly localized. When they meet in evening gatherings, they share their concerns, they share their issues, they exchange notes, they exchange advices. Yes, there are WhatsApp groups and other channels which has been established by companies and private players. Also, there are government and private call centers, but what we understand is they were not as effective as, or they were not reaching to the expectation of farmer. And today, as we are evolving, as the data is becoming cheaper, as the data transmission is becoming faster, today we see farmers wanting to have or prefers video over audio and text. Also, the farmer has expressed that he's open to new ideas and technologies. He wants to utilize tech extensively. So he says, I want to use technology to recognize fake seeds and other inputs. I'm open to buy inputs online. I want technology to help me identify diseases and identify all other problems which I have in the field. And today, what we have seen, after interacting with thousands of farmers, is today farmers are very, very open to use voice. And I was actually surprised to see that they are using voice for search, they are using voice for typing. And after I saw this, and it was last year before COVID. And back when I came, I also actually developed this habit of using voice a lot. And I think I was surprised when we talk about internet penetration is low, a farmer doesn't understand. Actually, he understands much more than us, and he has a lot of time. One fun fact when we saw was when we asked how much time do you use internet, he said जब तक 1.5 GB होता है तब तक पूरा यूज करते हैं, शाम को घर जाने के बाद काम में क्या होता है. So actually he is spending time, he is using data, he's actually looking at all the work which is happening. And I feel that the consumption is as equal as rural urban consumption which we guys do. And some of the intangibles, as we know, like all of us, farmer also requires instant gratification. He holds a high esteem in the society. He has high self-respect. He's interested in learning and development. And today also we see a lot of trust is in the local community. Farmer believes on a fellow farmer, but slowly he has expressed that yes, he believes on live events. If you show him a recorded video, I'm not sure how much he's ready to believe it, but he's expressed that if I see live events, I'm ready to believe on it. So these are some of the needs which we have at Seedworks identified via various interactions which we have farming community. And as I told, there are a lot of opportunities for you to contribute. Today, the CEO farmer, as I talked about, actually takes a lot of decision. There is, right from seed to weather predictions, the crop insurance, he takes various decision. And around that, the entire agribusiness community has evolved, right from seed suppliers to other inputs to, banks, NBFCs, mechanization. But still, there is a lot of innovation which can, come into this sector. Robotics, drones, soil tech, weather prediction, insurance models, a lot of other things in common. I think what farmer wants is a very, very simple to use, which reduces complexity and which is an end-to-end solution. Today we see, and I think some of the solutions has been there for a time, but they are not end-to-end. And I'll talk about some of them in the further slides. I've also tried to put some of the areas where where the technology infusion can be there. I'll not go in detail, but there are novel farming systems utilizing aquaculture, hydroponics, aquaponics, terrace gardening, lot of vertical farming. Lot of areas are coming up where the opportunity is there for youth, right? In farm mechanization, automation, using robotics, using smart irrigation systems, using smart dairy solutions. In big data and precision agriculture, using drone tech, using satellite imagery, IoT solutions, data analytics solutions. A lot of value can be added to the farming community. Farm management education services, right from capturing the data at farms to rightly advising farmer. There is a lot of work which is being undertaken in this area. Trading platform outsourcing and financing, yes. Marketplaces, as we speak, we are seeing they are evolving. Enam, I think one of very, very good initiatives by government of India, and one of the most unique initiatives which any country has taken. And I was talking to someone, I think Australia and some other countries are actually trying to understand how they can also adopt those kind of initiatives. Supply chain technology is another area where smart logistics, smart storage, intelligent packing, food traceability, a lot of areas are there where youth can collaborate and innovate. Innovative food products and services, as the need for healthy food increases, I think sustainable proteins, functional food, those requirements will also increase. Other area of biologicals in terms of bioenergy, biomaterials, waste management, and of course the genetics, crop protection, and animal welfare. We being in plant genetics field, we see a lot of technology intervention is happening on the biotech front. Also a lot of technology, how AI and ML sort of technologies are helping companies to fast track their business program, breeding programs. I think these are some of the areas which I have tried to put on here, which provides a lot of opportunity for the youth. Well, let us look at some of the problems which you talked about and some of the solutions which can resolve it. Right, on the input side, we talked about, and we have also seen in the video that small land holding is an issue, land fragmentation is an issue. And I think the solutions lie in establishing collaborative farming, and we are seeing the FPO as a concept is also coming up to ensure that there is rain dependence, sometimes excess water, sometimes water shortage. I think smart irrigation solutions has to come and has to provide a solution to the farming community at right prices at right time. Low level of mechanization we have seen. I think mechanization is improving. Shared economy concepts are coming in where the farmer doesn't have to invest a lot of capital to have these machineries. Robotics, I'm sure not very soon, but robotics are going to be very important in mechanization of farms. Poor soil health. I think government has taken an initiative of soil health cards, but I believe that we have to go one step ahead. Health card based advisory and application of inputs to the soil will actually help farmer rather than just having a soil health card. And at least as per my interaction with the farmers, they're not very happy with the process, and they are not banking on the results which these soil health labs established by government are showing. Inappropriate pesticide usage, I think yes, rightly information dissemination has to happen. Technology has to help them to understand this. I think drone tech and other tech will also be very important to do precision application. I think the entire industry, the R&D programs of chemical companies and fertilizer companies has to evolve and has to partner with these technology companies to innovate new formulations which these tech can also adopt. On the credit and insurance side, poor access to credit, I think, as we also discussed, newer financing models have to come in, which provides loans to farmers at the right cost of capital at the right time whenever he needs it. Low insurance penetration, though there is we have very good programs by the government. PM Fasal Bima Yojana is there, but still I think some of the rules and regulations under those policies are not farmer friendly, and some of the insurance products have to come at farmer level. Today what I know is that these insurance programs actually look at the village level, and if the crop destruction is higher at a village level, then only the farmer is compensated, not at a farmer level. But I think a lot of technology in terms of GIS or satellite imagery or drone imagery has to come in, and image processing has to play a role to assess the farm health, and then insurance companies has to utilize that and provide right insurance product to the farmers. On the market linkage side, we know over-regulated markets, flawed pricing systems. As we discussed, digital administration, I think ENAM is very good initiative. ENAM will automate a lot of process of quality check at the mandis, and I think the farmer can fetch right price from the right buyer who has value for his products. And a lot of startups and a lot of companies are also optimizing supply chain. They're trying to reduce intermediaries, directly connecting farm output to the horecas or the B2B2C kind of environment where they require it. Also, we are seeing optimization in terms of packaging to reduce the farm wastages, and weak cold chain. I think very important issue which we see today. Smart cold logistics are coming in. There are a lot of innovation happening in terms of farm level refrigeration of storing the product in a way it can improve the shelf life. So there are a lot of opportunities as we talked about, and I think where there is opportunity, there are some things which we have to keep in mind how these opportunities can be converted into real business ideas and then real businesses. One is, I think, what today farmer needs, and I've also highlighted that it needs to also have engagement in place. Today, a point solution, only providing a solution at the post harvest might not engage farmer. Right, farmer needs to be engaged throughout the crop cycle, throughout the seasons, and that is where he will have you in mind, and then he will try to use your solution. The solution has to be scalable in nature. We know that the kind of farming community, the kind of country we are in, there are varied farmer groups, varied crops they are engaged in, various practices being used. There are 15 agroclimatic zones in India, and I think the expression of crop is very different in all those areas. So the solution which we can bring into this agtech space has to be scalable in nature. One thing which I believe is given the current scenario, I think without collaboration it's very difficult, near to impossible to engage and scale any agtech idea. We need collaboration with matured agribusinesses to, take these innovative solutions to the farmers, to help farmers to adopt it. And, that is where the entire cycle will actually get integrated, and, the scale can happen there. And finally, the government support, of course, the appropriate policies have to come and have to go give boost to the agri-tech sector for structured growth. Some of the areas like data privacy, digital infrastructure, financial inclusion, I think these are some of the very, very, important areas. And I think now is the time. I'm sure government think tanks are working towards it. And these are some of the support which is required from the government. But also, I think there are some of the concerns which we should have in mind also today. If you look at Indian farmer, I mean, there is, they're not open to pay for advisory at the moment. I think, these solution has to be taken first to market with big farmers, with progressive farmers. And once they start to use it, they adopt this tech solutions, they see value. I'm sure, as a lot of farming community look up to these progressive farmers, they will take their advice. And I think that is where the adoption will increase. There are high gestation periods, reaching out to small and marginal farmers, which are majority of the farmers in the Indian agriculture. And conversion to sale, where they are open to pay, I think it requires some patience. And I think the entire space has to have that, in their minds. And third is, I think, there is the ecosystem which also have to evolve. I think some of the larger players in terms of, telecom, providing connectivity to, providing good sensors, effective sensors, or I would say cheap sensors, cheap solar panels, a lot of other areas. I think the overall ecosystem has to evolve with the agri ecosystem to enable the agtech. And I think when we think of agtech or agri-tech, I think there's one country which comes to our mind. I'm sure a lot of you would have guessed. I think Israel is a country which, being small, being a desert, actually have rightly utilized technology. And I think in this video, you will be able to see how a country like Israel has actually utilized technology and where they are today. I want you to just see this 4 minutes clip.
When you think agriculture, think Israel. Israel is a world leader in agriculture. Advanced technologies developed by Israeli scientists, along with the vast knowledge accumulated, are distributed statewide and exported to many countries that rely on Israeli agriculture expertise for their agricultural production. Breakthrough Israeli research and development provides solutions for complicated agricultural day-to-day challenges worldwide. Israel's geographical structure is diverse, and the soil and climatic conditions are mostly harsh. This led to the amassing of expertise and experience in agriculture in challenging areas with unique characteristics. Breakthrough discoveries have been made in this area. With desertification on the rise globally and water sources shrinking constantly, our farmers and researchers work to develop innovative solutions that are efficient and environmentally friendly. Israel is considered a leading pioneer in water and irrigation technologies. Dozens of technologies have been developed in Israel in this field, from water purification to water recycling and irrigation with treated wastewater, all of which enable efficient agricultural production. Drip irrigation, the most efficient irrigation method on Earth, was developed in Israel. Volcani Center researchers have developed systems which provide climate monitoring and control in greenhouses, namely temperature, humidity, and ventilation control. For a plant to grow and produce, it needs ideal conditions that aren't necessarily provided by nature or in its growing habitat. Welcome to the future of agriculture. Our advanced systems developed in Israel enable us to map and analyze crops and accurately observe and measure all parameters necessary for an ideal habitat for the plant while maximizing resource utilization. after a fruit or vegetable has been picked, it's the post-harvest period in which fruit quality gradually degrades, in many cases leading to an increasing amount of produce losses, resulting in massive financial losses. Our scientists have developed advanced means and methods to extend the shelf life of fruit without affecting taste or aroma. Research and development in labs across the country, predominantly Volcani Center, led to the development of high-yield varieties more resistant to adverse climate conditions, pests, and diseases. They are more aromatic and contain higher nutritional values. Volcani scientists also developed cooling and ventilation systems for dairy farms that substantially reduce the temperature and increase the welfare of cows, thus enabling intensive and profitable milk production in dairy farms in desert areas. Israeli dairy cows produce 12,000 liters of milk annually, a worldwide production record. Agricultural waste is a great nuisance to the environment and to farmers alike. Several Israeli companies provide advanced solutions to these challenges all around the globe. Their development technologies enable recycling and complete reuse of the waste as animal feed, crop fertilizer, and a renewable energy source. Our world is changing rapidly. World population is increasing along with the standard of living. Our needs grow while climate change impacts our environment and limits our attempts to increase world agricultural production. Today, with the knowledge accumulated over the years, Israel can provide advanced solutions to many of these challenges around the world. Think agriculture.
Yeah, so I believe if Israel can do it, I think India has all the right talent, all the right resources, and I think it's a right time for us also to take a leap, and I think we can do much better than Israel as well. So let us talk about what we are doing at Seedworks, and I'll try to put it in very small 2 slides. So for ones who are not aware of Seedworks, Seedworks International Private Limited is a science company. We are engaged in research, production, and marketing of hybrid seeds. We are involved in rice, cotton, millet, mustard, and vegetable crops. We also have a subsidiary in Philippines, which works closely with farmers on rice and vegetable crops. And these are some of the products which we market pan-India. So I'm very proud to say that Seedworks is a very farmer-centric digital organization. Today, we deal with our products are being used by millions of farmers, and directly we associate with around 30 to 40,000 grower farmers who grow our hybrid seeds. We touch almost more than 2 to 3 lakh farmers on a yearly basis to engage with them, to help them utilize our products in the right way to achieve the highest possible yields and profitability. And also we are associated with more than 15,000 to 20,000 channel partners, distributors and retailers pan India, and help them with the help of them our products reach to the farming community. And I just want to show you a range of technology products which we have developed in-house and with the help of the startup community, and which we are deploying to help farmers. So Siddhi is our solution at the grower end, which is at the hybrid seed production end, where we work with thousands of farmers and we capture data around their production. We analyze this data, and our ground teams takes the insights from this data and help the grower farmers to grow better, grow to the highest possible yield within the same farm. And we have also experimented with drone tech to see how we can actually infuse a lot of efficiency in the entire hybrid seed production process and give benefits to the farmer. Margdarshan, these are our internal names. These are, names which we have given to our programs. Margdarshan is our, very unique program in the entire seed industry, where all of our products which are, processed and packaged from our facilities are barcoded and also linked. If there is several layers of, packaging which happens, for example, in vegetable, there is 3 levels of packing which happens. The entire packaging is barcoded and they are linked, and we are able to ensure that the right product goes to the farmer. And if traceability is required, we ensure the end-to-end traceability right from the packet of seed which farmer has taken, so where it is processed, how it has grown at our hybrid seed production farms. eSampark is our program where we reach out to farmers through a live broadcasting, and I think it is becoming much more relevant in the COVID times where there is restrictions of gathering. We are able to reach to farmers. They are able to listen to our experts. They are able to listen to the right package of practices and advisory relating to various stages of crop, right from from selection of seed to right package of practices to preventive measures of pest and diseases or curative measures of pest and diseases. Another very interesting initiative which we have taken at Seedworks is what we call as Vriddhi, which is leading to growth. We are trying to see if VR, virtual reality, can be utilized to give right experience to farmer, to give him knowledge around using the products and services, how rightly to use it and make a better decision. So we are utilizing virtual reality as a technology in our business. Another program which we call as Jigyasa is utilizing augmented reality, wherein farmer can access information and knowledge with the help of AR technology around products and services. Any issue which he finds in his field, we have provided him solution to gather right information at the right time. Today the biggest challenge is not the farmer cannot be reached by either the agriculture department or private companies like us when he needs us, and that is where I think this kind of technologies are helping farmer to get the information on demand. Safal is our program, wherein we capture data and we assist our teams. We monitor how they are helping farmers, and this is actually helping us to optimize our processes so that rightly we reach out to the farmer, rightly we show him the right products which we are, developing in our R&D, and then he's able to understand what value we are there to offer him. Also our channel partners, distributors, retailers today, if they want our products, we are there with them. They can just open their app, they can just place order to the company directly, and the material reaches to them. They have the entire visibility and traceability of how the material is coming to them. There is another program called US AgriStar, wherein today more than 15,000 retailers are using this to have a visibility of the volume of product they have taken from company, how much they have liquidated. Along with that, we are building loyalty. We are providing information around a lot of new schemes, new products which the company is bringing to them, and we are working towards bringing a MySeedWorks ecosystem where we will stitch all the solutions for the farmer, and we are there for him. We will support him end to end. It will be an end-to-end ecosystem where we will provide all kind of services, not only for Seedworks products, but we aim to provide it for much more than Seedworks. We wanted to provide him advisory on any crop, any stage of crop which he desires. And I think all this is driven by the mission which we at Seedworks had adopted in 2017, which is to provide superior seed solution by harnessing technology and innovation to create value for all stakeholders in a sustainable way. And I think a lot of colleagues have joined here also, and we are very true. We are very dedicated to our mission, and you can see the mission doesn't talk about the revenues and the profits which we want to do. We want to actually provide value to the stakeholders, be it farmer, be it channel partners, and we say that we want to harness technology and innovation in the process to create a sustainable value for the stakeholders. So that's all from my side, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Pulkit. There's a lot of questions for that, but I will take the privilege of asking the first question to you.
Sure.
I believe that farming at the first mile of farming or the agriculture business is still not a very profitable part. And most of the farmers who, as you mentioned, are doing it as generations, they do it more, they look at it as as a food security for them and their families rather than a business, and they don't get that much profitability. Under such circumstances, how do you think that the youth who is only looking for a profitable business will get attracted to such businesses? And specifically, to give you a little example on that, way back in 70s, 80s, civil engineering was a very important aspect, but then it died. And then it came electronics, and then it came IT. IT sustained itself because the earnings of the youngsters are very, very high till today. Do you think that farming is going to reach to that level and attract youth? Ultimately, it is the money which they will get attracted to.
I think very, very relevant question. But I believe that if done right, if done with all the right information and knowledge, I think farming can be very, very rewarding. And we have seen farmers, in some of the crops, the investment is very, very low, to be very frank, and the output and the revenue which they generate is pretty high. I think why today farmers feel that the earnings are not sustained is basically, I would say, a knowledge gap, first of all. Second is the access to capital. In my experience, what I've seen is it's not that the capital is not available for farmers, but what I've seen is when the farmer needs it, it's not available. When in my interactions with farmers, I've seen that said the loans will be dispersed in one go in second month, but they need it in first month. I think when they don't have money, they go to money lenders, they depend on these retailers and creditors, and that is where the entire high interest which they pay, 24 to 36% per annum interest which they pay is eating out their profitability. Third is, I think on the post harvest end, the wastages at the farm end is pretty high, and the right grading system, the infrastructure, those are the areas. I think if farmer adopts it, I think it can be a very, very rewarding. And I can say that some of these startups which are coming up, I think some of the people I know, Clover is one startup which has started vertical farming. Though India having a lot of land, I think it is ahead of its time, but I think farming done rightly with use of right information technology can be really rewarding. That is what I feel. And I think times are very, very interesting. Recently, we had a session with FICCI, wherein we invited 11 startups and the entire leadership of Seedworks was there. And we have seen the kind of work which is happening by, I would not say the agriculture expert. There were a lot of people from technology world, I would say, who are working on mechanization, who are working on bridging the markets, a lot of other areas. So I see that the youth will do it right. The youth is much more smart. They have much more access to technology. They have much more information, and I think utilizing all of them and applying it to the farming can be very rewarding.
Okay. So there are a lot of questions, Pulkit. I will read one by one, but you have to be quick in answering so that we are within the time.
Sure.
So this question is from Manikanta Chari. He's saying that as Pulkit Mittal mentioned, you tied up with chemical industries, fertilizers and pesticides and financial institutions. How you are going to generate revenue by tying up with chemical industries and financial institutions?
Okay. So, it's not just that we will tie up or anybody should tie up with inputs company just for, being a trader or intermediary to sell their products. So today we also partner, or I would say some of these startups partners with us. Almost, a lot of these I can name a few also, which take our products via online mediums to the farmer. But I think where I'm coming from is not only just to take the existing products and taking it to the farmers. Where I was coming from is actually building or creating an ecosystem where the technology players, the youth actually comes and works with these companies, whether it is seed company or a chemical company, and actually co-develop these solutions which can actually go to farmer, and then farmer can realize the benefits of it. So that is where I was coming from.
Okay. So the next question is from Vijay Vedantam. He is asking how serious is the problem of fake seeds that you have mentioned in your presentation?
Oh, I think it's pretty serious. There are a lot of Me Too products in the market which are there. Even in our millet and mustard also, we have seen we operate under brand Krishna in Rajasthan and MP and UP and some part of Gujarat. And we have seen, there are a lot of fake products under, disguised packaging which are sold. So it's a pretty big problem. And farmer also says that actually seed is a very, very rational purchase. If seed is bad, I think he's under a lot of pressure and the outcome is not going to be right. So seed is the most important aspect, and that is where the farmer buys in cash. I mean, that is one fact about seeds, and I think fake seed is a very big problem, and we also as a business face it.
Okay, the next question is from Dr. Zaka Suresh Reddy. How can we solve the problem of getting required urea fertilizer? Even today, also farmers are standing in the queue to get 2 or 3 bags. Why don't we take urea production in a big way?
I think, I'm not the right person. I'm not a urea expert, but I think what I can think of is if the supply chains improve, I think online channels improve, then farmer can definitely order it in time and can get a delivery. But I think a lot of other things has to improve for that to happen. But I'm sorry, I'm not, very knowledgeable in urea and other fertilizer aspects.
I think the next question you have partially answered, but I will still take it. It is from Anjali Jaiswal. Despite such initiatives taken up by government and financial institutions, farmers are unable to clear their huge loans and crop failures remain at the same rate. How will we encourage them as the suicide rate increasing every year due to losses?
Yeah, I think this is very unfortunate that we are seeing suicides, and yeah, I mean that's a reality. There are defaults which are happening, but I think it's a human nature. If somebody is really making money, if he's able to rightly derive value of his farming practices, why would somebody want to default? That is what I understand, and I think that is where this session, I hope some of us will actually take something from here and try to develop solutions wherein farmer can improve his profitability and then doesn't default. So that's what I hope for.
Okay, the next question, I think the name is not very clear, but it is Maran Nelisetti. Living in a small town surrounded by villages, I saw a village where the next generation is well educated and there are no successors to continue farming. The lands are fertile and gives good yield. How can an entrepreneur take advantage of such situations?
Yeah, so I think that's a reality in a lot of interactions. We have also seen next generation is not very interested to take farming as a profession. But, on the other hand, I would also give you another examples. In nearby Hyderabad areas also, I was interacting with a, very young farmer. He was, I think, around 24, 25 years of age. And when I was asking him question, what do you know about technology? And he was actually telling me solutions which I probably didn't know. He was using all kind of apps. And I asked him, how do you know so much? And, he said, I was working in Hyderabad in an IT firm. I was earning 30,000 rupees, but, there was no freedom. And that is where he wanted to come back, cultivate his farms. And, that is where I think he was very satisfied. Actually, I can still remember that interaction wherein he says that farming is really rewarding, and the kind of the environment in which people want to go out of rural areas, work in cities, work in IT. There was one farmer I interacted who was a driver in Hyderabad, and then he went back, left that, and went back and started cultivation. So I would say, increasingly, as less and less people want to do it, I think then there'll be a supply demand bridge, and again people will want to come in and then take up that with much more information and much more utilization of technology. So yes, I think it is happening, but moving ahead, the trend reversal should be there.
Okay, next question is from Dr. V. Veeraswamy. Are you developing your own seeds to mitigate the problems of fake seeds? Please let me know.
Yeah, of course. I think we are end-to-end business. We are having very good research programs. We invest heavily in research programs. All our products are, our IP, and we are fighting the fake seed via various solutions which our marketing teams take. And I would say we have been successful in the area where we operate also.
Okay, the next question is from Mr. Chandrasekhar. Need of the hour is storage and logistics, and how do we create agripreneurship rather than entrepreneurship?
Right. I think very nice. Agripreneurship is, I think, lot of people, I would say one thing is there should be, interest in youth to come and spend time in agribusinesses. Today, I have been associated in agribusiness. I was with ITC, and I can see Chandra sir also. He was there when when I joined. I think he was retiring the next year, and not a lot of people show interest, but it is really satisfying to work in an area in a sector which really contributes to a large amount of population. I think people have to come in, people have to try, people really see value. There's a lot of money here. I would say, there are millions and billions of people who does farming. And I think if today the entrepreneurs, as we say, look at, addressable market and total market, let them actually do their numbers. And once they see the agri market, I think entrepreneurship itself will look much, much more attractive.
Okay, we are already 5 minutes delayed. I'll
Yeah.
take another 3 questions and we
Sure.
will then wind up. And balance questions, we will send it to you, Mr. Pulkit, so that you can answer that and we will share the answers with the questioners. The next question is from from Prashant. Many agriculture students are taking U-turn to do MBA, complete change in their streams, and some are forced to do another course and join corporate. What are your thoughts on this?
So I think it's a very personal choice. If people are going towards MBA and then they are going and following some other profession, I'm not sure whether it is a question related to agri or agri-tech, but it's a very personal choice. I'm sure I am not the right person to answer that.
Next question is from Dr. Rajaya. Total village-based corporate professional companies are needed. The corporation will have specialized teams of professionals who ensure profits and prosperity. The profits need to be shared 50% to the landowners, 25% to the total village community building, and 25% to the professional corporation. Similar models need to be developed. I think this is more of a statement than a question.
Right. I think it has to happen, but the trust factor has to develop between the parties here, and then it can succeed.
Okay, the next question is from Asma Khan. Why do people in India don't opt for farming as a profession? Is there any way to attract youth towards farming and agriculture? I think I asked this question indirectly and you answered it. We'll move to the next one. I think they are only saying thank you to you for an excellent session. I will take this as a last question from Geeta Goti. There is a reverse migration of people to their villages. They are educated. Will Seedworks support them to take up entrepreneurship? If so, how?
Yeah, so I think at Seedworks, sometime back, we remember, we at our leadership also, we were also thinking how we can associate with youth. We can develop the skill training program, and we can actually develop programs where in the knowledge which we transfer to them, they can utilize that and they can see much, much more benefit. So yes, internally we are thinking about it, and definitely we would like to partner with youth and come back with a program so that we can rightly educate them, rightly provide them avenues to develop skills, which when they use in the real world in the farming, they will have rewarding scenarios.
So we have at least 15 more questions, but we will stop here because of the paucity of time, Mr. Pulkit. Fantastic session, and I will like to hand over to our secretary, Mr. Ramchandra Garu, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjay. I think all of us today, who almost numbered more than 100 all the time, will agree that we had a wonderful session today from Mr. Pulkit. It was really very interesting from the point of view that most of us look at corporate businesses, enterprises, etc., but to now look at the farming as an enterprise, where the farmer, who is the CEO, manages all the activities that we see in an enterprise, and he does with a lot of difficulties, a lot of constraints. He explained very well about the challenges he faces, whether it is the finance, whether it is the market prices, the linkages, or whether it is the difficulty that he faces in trying to push his product into the market and get a fair price. So today we find that, as I see, like Mr. Sanjay rightly told, that there has been a change in thought, where civil engineer was probably not required at a point of time, and today we find that IT engineers are required. But similarly here, today we find that there is probably a change. there are great opportunities. We see a lot of opportunities in modernizing the technologies. Also, at times we have been talking about farm technologies. I think he very rightly told that there are opportunities for new technologies, use IoT, use of data management, and then linkages, price linkages, the farmer being educated by using e-platforms. I think, sir, it has been a wonderful session. And I could see that the attendance, as I said, was more than 100, and the attendance almost throughout has been in that range. So it is a big compliment to Mr. Pulkit for having held all of us together and listened to your deliberations so wonderfully. I thank you once again, sir. It was really an excellent session. I also thank Mr. Sanjay Kapoor Garu, who has been kind enough to come and grace this occasion and conduct the entire program, moderate, take the question answers, and I think most of the questions are really very relevant. And Mr. Vijay, I must congratulate Mr. Vijay Vedantam.
Can you please mute yourself, others who are not speaking, please?
I also thank Mr. Vijay Vedantam. I think it has been a wonderful beginning, and I look forward to many such things. HMA as such, as our president rightly told, we are making good initiatives, saying that how best we can be of use to the general public, whichever the sector they are. I also thank our office secretariat and all the members who attended today for making this program a big success. Thanks a lot.
Before we end this program, I want to just mention few things. There will be very exciting programs, and I will request you to kindly go to our Facebook page, to our LinkedIn page, and to Twitter, where these announcements of new programs are announced. And going forward, I will request you to become the members of HMA and propagate that, because we will be conducting all our programs in futures unpaid, free of charge, only for HMA members. Non-HMA members will have to pay the fees for attending the program. So I urge you to become the members and look forward and like our Facebook and other social media pages. All these programs which we conduct, after the conduct of this program, they are available on our YouTube channel. Kindly like that so that you can go through this programs later on in case you need a deep dive into any of the subjects later. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.